Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Happy Tuesday. Good morning, Norm. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm great. Hope you're doing well.
Excellent, excellent. All right, guys, let's look at some of the stuff we have yesterday, our top place and highlights for the day that we had. So we had SRNE on our list. Let's bring over the 5 minute, kind of show you what's going on there and what happened. Again, this one actually turned out to be amazing, guys. Great pre-market action, and it did continue into the trading day. You can see here how lovely this drop down here became a beautiful short. Did test the VWAP one more time and continued to just lose it and drop here. At no point did it want to stay above the VWAP. That's usually a good sign. Things want to trend in one direction. So you see here the double test here and here, and then continues to break the low of the day there and just keeps dropping. So again, amazing trade there. One of the cleanest days that we've seen out of this one. So that was nice to watch. It later in the afternoon just didn't do much. Just kind of just chopped around for the most part. They're down another 2.6 today with some good volume. So this will definitely be one that we keep an eye on today as well. Here's INO, guys. Another one that also traded very well. Had a nice little drop here on the 5 minute. You can see a beautiful opening range breakdown. It did have a deep pullback before the candle started, but overall still gave you this amazing opportunity, this great drop here. Lost the low of the pre-market. We talk about these levels being important, guys. You can see here that 1288. The minute it loses that, you can see it better even on the 1 minute. How nice that drops. Comes and retests it again. You have two levels here that are important. You have your VWAP and you also have your 1288 as well. Rejects that and then continues to drop nicely. So INO also traded very well. Towards the afternoon part of the day, you did get a little bit of a support here, but this was a long way to take advantage of this move towards the close. But that traded well, holding on to I believe this would have been the low of the day at that time. So FSLY, guys, also did a nice little drop here, not as clean as the ones we just saw now, but it took a while to get going here. It did eventually lose the VWAP around 950. Beautiful drop there. Again, so if you had to, your timing had to be perfect on this day of loss of the low of the day at that time. But you can see how well this thing traded. Never really tested the VWAP after that. Really hold on to the 9 moving average towards the bottom. And then finally got a nice little a double bottom here, right? This is a great double bottom here to take it back up towards the VWAP. You don't get there, but you still get a really good move on here. All right, let's look at what else we had. We had Apple. Apple also dropped down. Apple's a little bit shaky at the start. Really did not know what direction it wanted to go here, right? It popped up right before the VWAP. I'm sorry, before the market open. Sells back down, sells back up, and then back down again. So again, just a lot of confusion happening here on what's going to be, the move. And it stays between the high of the pre-market, which was your 551 here, which is your all-time high. In this level we had here, several levels, 512 and 511. So after it breaks out of this range here, we talked about these levels in the pre-market. They look very well. They were tested several times. Finally, after it breaks out of this, whether it would have went up or down, you can see here the continuation then comes in. But it took some time to get going here. It looked like it was going to head back up, especially this move here could have faked you out for a possible long, right? When you see that, but you can see here it got rejected nicely. So again, Apple also great volume today, not down by much. We'll see if anything good happens there in the pre-market. Neo was just nasty, guys. I actually took this one off my list. And what I put up here was VXRT because this one did trade very well. The pre-market was a little bit weak, didn't seem all that exciting. But look at this 5 minute open range breakdown. I did take this trade. Unfortunately, I did chase it a little bit. Didn't get the great entry up here. I got it somewhere near this area here. So a little bit of a chase, but it did turn out to be a good trade eventually. Again, just a beautiful drop on VXRT. It wasn't as wild at the open, which probably made it a little easier to take an opportunity here. So, but yeah, going back to Neo, guys, just pure chop. I took this off immediately. Just nothing great there. RKT was also on my list. Did not look good neither, guys. Very choppy. Just look at the way these candles are. Although the daily looks amazing, their intraday yesterday was pretty bad. They're up another 5.3 today. 1.5 million shares traded so far. So we'll take a look at what's going on with those guys there. With that said, that is what we have yesterday on our watch list. Again, I think a lot of stuff moving well. But most exciting and more important is just the SPY, Norm. I mean, we just continue to rip higher. We're up. Again, we're not up by much, but we're up. We're still gapping up after such an incredible move. So let's get to the market pulse and see what's going on
A
there.
little over a third of a percent gap up on the SPY is nothing to blink at. It's so up a little over a third of a percent. It's funny, the Dow and the SPY are up this morning. The Nasdaq is down just a little bit in the red. We've kind of seen this getting away a little bit from some of the. Oh, my dogs come in to visit again every morning now. I don't know what's going on.
They like the pre-market
So
show, man.
I guess so. So anyway, um, so as far as sectors go, technology's up just a hair. We've got healthcare that's up a little over 0.5%. That's the leader. Consumer discretionary is up about 0.5%, just shy of that. So pretty much across the board in the green on the sectors, either that or flat on a couple of them. We'll see. There's some. We've got a little bit of data coming out today at 9 a.m. We get the home price index, and then 10 a.m. we get consumer confidence and new home sales, and then a Fed speaker at 11:30. So see where it goes. Interesting times, that's for sure.
Yep, it sure is, guys. All right, going back to our gappers list this morning, we have quite a bit on here, guys, on both sides of the fence this morning. So let's start with what is gapping up this morning. We got a couple of low floats in here, 997. So again, when we've seen this one before, it doesn't really trade all that well. We got 1.3, 24 and 30 are, on the lower side. I thought this was COVID for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, they opened up their own ticker.
Yeah, yeah, you don't want that.
You want to be trading that. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on here. Let's start with what's capping up. Here we have U1. We looked at it before, you guys. Does not trade very well. I believe it was when all this craziness was happening here. It has some pretty good volume. Lower flow stock, 997. I'm not going to be watching it. And today, what do we have as far as price action this morning? Yeah, it's 4.8, so really all over the place, up 60%. But again, nothing that we really that I really want to focus on.
I don't know what's going on here. There's got to be a story I haven't seen out there, because this and CARV are both up. Those have both popped. Those have both popped on whenever there's news of investment in African American owned business. I haven't seen anything specific to that. The other times it's happened, I've seen news stories. So I'm that's probably what's going on there. I'm not quite sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember this now because we did have this pop up before, and they both popped up. But again, it's just the flow size is scary, guys. Even whatever news it is, it could be positive here, but just that flow size is scary. Here's not COVID, but Ovid is here, and they are up 25.6 this morning, 2.3. Again, 30 million shares flow, but this to me just doesn't look great. Look at the pre-market. I'm sorry, the daily chart is very choppy. For the most part, does not trade a whole lot of volume, guys. You had a couple of days in here where you had 13 million shares. For the most part, trading on the 2.5, looks like maybe 2 million shares a day. So they had a decent, well, not decent, but a nice red day yesterday. Let's see how that trade is. So it looks like it just started dropping here. Again, I'm not liking this stock at all, guys. I'm not sure what's popping this up, Norm. It is 30 million shares float.
It's a biotech. They had some trial results for a children's seizure medicine that I believe were positive and popped them up. The same time, they've announced, I believe, a secondary. So kind of a little bit of mixed news there, but obviously the trial results are what's being favorable to them today.
Got it. Big range this morning, guys. 672 your low of your pre-market and your high all the way at 1045. So again, I'm not a fan of this stock today, so I'm gonna skip on this one. KMDA, this one we saw yesterday didn't look great. Let's see how it actually traded. I took it off my list. Again, without looking at the price section, it's hard to tell. It did had a nice little drop here, but then it doesn't get pretty clean after that. You can see how choppy it is as soon as the volume dies down very early on. So again, not a typical stock that we trace. I'm gonna skip on this one. 24 million shares. Look at the daily; it's not clean neither. Only 5 million shares for the entire day yesterday. You can get a continuation today, but just look how nasty this daily is. Let's look at LI this morning. It's a recent IPO, I would believe. Yes, this is what we've been talking about before. It's been hitting our scanners. The daily looks interesting, though. Got a nice little pop here over the last couple of days. Possible breakout continuation play. Pre-market is not looking actually all that bad, right? Could be better. I don't know. I'm not on the fence on this one, Norm. What do you think about this?
I won't be trading it, but that doesn't mean it's not tradable. It's just not something I like. It's a Chinese EV manufacturer. They did get a couple of They did get a couple of analyst initiation of ratings. I believe one of them was out of Morgan Stanley with a $20 price target. I can't remember. I can't remember what the other one was, but that's what's getting them this morning. EV
Got
play.
it. Yes, I don't like the fact they're a Chinese company. It's just again, just not our style of trading really. So I'm gonna take this one off. Let's look at GPS here. GPS is not doing a whole lot, guys. Pre-market action is very dead, but this is typical type of nicey, especially for this company Gap. They don't trade a whole lot in the pre-market. Is there any news on Gap this morning that's might be worth watching? This one. They had.
They got an upgrade. They got an upgrade out of
Mhm.
Citigroup, moving from a neutral to a buy rating with a $24 price target, increased from 12. So
Yeah.
they've got earnings coming up here. So we'll it could move today. It had a big day yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, it did. I'm seeing that here. Big day yesterday for this stock. Again, look at the day; it doesn't move much, and when it has some catalyst, is the only time that you really get something going here. So, a big day yesterday. A lot of it happening very early on, the first part of the market. I'll keep it as a possible because it's one of these stocks that sometimes does not move very well. So we'll see what happens there. All right, let's skip down to MU. What's going on here? All right, MU is active for once, up 2.8, 298. So this is good. They're having a little pop. Had a green day yesterday, a nice breakout today. I think MU might be worth putting on our list this morning. 298,000 on the volume. Any news as bringing this thing up today?
Yeah, so I believe they've unveiled a new portable SSD drive that's pretty significant. So that's what's popping them up.
All right, we'll keep them on here, guys. They got a pretty nice pre-market action compared to what we have seen in the last couple of days. This thing has not been trading all that well. All right, I'm going to do American Airlines just because they actually had a great day yesterday, guys. All the airlines did very well yesterday. American, here's their breakout. It looks like they were going to sell off or just be choppy, and then they just regained the VWAP here, all the moving averages, and take off. And United, Delta, I think they all had the same pop yesterday. So American Airlines right now, great value, up 2.5, possible continuation. I do like how it ended yesterday,
Yeah.
ended very strong, so this could be a good one.
I'm not usually a huge fan of those, but if you go back and look, it looks
Mhm.
like it's put in a higher high on the daily. It's trying to put in a higher low. You've got a 45% short float on AAL, so could
Mhm.
be interesting if it continues to push higher.
Yeah, this is definitely one to have on here. I personally like to trade United Airlines. They're a little bit cleaner. They also had a bang up day yesterday, very similar to American Airlines. So I'm going to have both of these on here for now. Let's see what's gapping down today. CGIX. Now, this one has been on our list quite a bit. What did it do yesterday? I took it off. Again, a lot of action happening at the pre-market. At the open, you really didn't get anything clean. Look how nasty these candles are. And today they're down 17.6. I'm gonna skip on this one, guys. 2.1 million shares
Yeah.
flow, so very low flow. Let's move on. This is Children's Place. 13 million shares flow. They are down 13.9 right now. Pre-market is not all that great. Again, typically these retail companies don't do all that well in the pre-market, but this one here trades very low volume. So they're down nicely this morning, leaving this area of consolidation. Any significant news that's got them moving today?
Yeah, they had earnings this morning. They missed. They had a wider loss than expected on their earnings per share. Their revenues were a little bit higher than expected, but nevertheless, they are getting hammered this morning. And also note that 70% short float on it per trade ideas.
Wow, nice. Yeah, I definitely wanna watch this one. I'm shocked that this is only a 13 million shares flow. I thought it would have been more. But again, I'm gonna keep it down here as possible. Let's see how that trades today. But we got some pretty active pre-market activity this morning. SWBI not looking good pre-market wise. What's the float on this? 53. They're down a decent amount here, 13%. So I do like this gap down. I'm not liking the daily, guys. Very light on the volume for the most part. Had a nice red day yesterday. Let's see how that actually played out. Yeah, you could tell here the volume is very light. You could tell just by looking at the 5 minute, the way these candles are forming, you could tell it's on very light volume. And if you look down here, they only traded 3.1 million shares yesterday. So I do like this gap down today. I think it could create some opportunities and some movements. I'm going to put it down as possible. It's got to get a little better, I think, or at least start hitting some of the scanners before we put it on our main list. Let's There we go. Now we got that on there. NVAX. This stock is again one of these hit or miss stocks, but I seen some really good days on it. Here they are down 5.9 this morning, 128. They're holding on to this level that we have here, 112.73 looks like. So just kind of flirting around with that. That is the last time they had some major support on two big red bars here. They bounced off of that nicely and are right back to this level again. So that's interesting. I like what I'm seeing here. Yesterday, big red day. Let's see what how that
Yeah.
turned out. That's just the move was all at the open, really. At the open, this 10 minutes was to drop, and then from there, it's just kind of just chopped around, holding this level here, which is your low for yesterday. So interesting. Let's put it on here. And any news on this one, Norm, that we have for?
Invex, VXRT, INO, they're down still on President on Sunday talking about getting a vaccine from AstraZeneca by October. So that's a continuation from yesterday. Same news.
All right, so I do definitely like that. I know VXRT was nice yesterday. It was a good play. So I might put that on my list again today. Pre-market is very active, down 5.9. So I'm gonna put VXRT here. But I might not watch both of them. I might move one down to as a possible. Let's see which one looks better as we get closer to 9:30. Here's Tiffany. They doesn't really trade well. Tiffany for me is one of those stocks that it's like a Baba. It's very difficult to trade. So they're down today. There must be some news because these guys do not move unless something's happening. But again, it's just I'm not gonna watch it. SRNE did pretty good yesterday. Nice little drop here. Today they are moving sideways a bit. I think this could be a good continuation. I'm gonna put it as a possible for the moment. Let's take a look at SHLL. We know it's a shell company. I don't trade this. It had a big red day yesterday, but usually, again, not the type of style of stocks that we like to trade. I know I'm going to stay away from. It was just, it was okay yesterday, but I still, again, for me, it's very difficult to read this price action. Had a nice little drop here, but I'm going to put this one, we'll put it as a possible. We'll do that because I know we'll do some levels for it. I know people are going to watch this one. And then last one on this list, BBY. BBY had earnings, or what's going on with these guys? They got some
Yep.
good volume today.
Yep. They had earnings. They had really good numbers that came out, but they said that the strength they've shown, they don't see it continuing. It's kind of a one-off due to COVID and people doing stuff at their house and things along those lines.
All right, I'm gonna put them as a possible, just as a potential earnings play here. But again, they're another stock that also doesn't move very well. But let's see if this pre-market can get a little bit better as we move along here. All right, so that is what we have so far. Norm, what do you like this morning on your end?
Still looking, buddy. I don't have anything.
All right, excellent. Let's get
Boeing
over
looks. I will throw Boeing out there.
BA.
I have that down here. I'm not sold on it yet, but
Yeah, you know what? BA is also with these airlines right now. I have United and American and BA. And these are doing well. Obviously, BA is going to do so as well. And when BA is in play, man, I didn't look at it yesterday, but they have a good day. Their days tend to be very clean. Again, had a great intraday pop here, like many of the airlines did. Someone mentioned in our YouTube chat that the cruise lines did as well. I didn't look at them. Let's look at CCL. Yeah, same thing. All these travel companies had a very big day yesterday. They're all setting up nicely for a possible continuation. CCL has great volume, 742. So we'll see. We'll see what breaks. I like their daily though. Their daily is right at the area of last resistance that we had here. They got some opportunities to get to that 1750 if they are going to be strong like they were yesterday. So I'm going to ask CCO here as a possible, just to not forget about that one. Let's take it to the room. We have Ben from New York. He's giving us RKT this morning. RKT was wild. Their daily looks great, but yesterday, I don't know. They're look at their 5 minute yesterday, man. It was really all over the place. Some good scalping opportunities here if you were able to time it correctly. Get in on these pops that seem to just come out of nowhere. Again, I'm not liking this intraday at all on RKT. But if you look at their daily continues to just rip higher. It's trading very nice. Another gap up this morning, 5.6. I'm on the fence on this one, guys. Don't worry, we'll fine tune this list. We'll put it on here, but I'm really, really on the fence. BBY, we have NCLH. I'm assuming it's going to look very similar to CCL, so I'm not going to look at that one just now. We'll just take a quick peek. CCL has a little more volume, very similar to what's happening there. Also with all the airlines as well. SJM, what they did, the earnings. This stock looks a little funky here. The spread is 75 cents right now. Now, I'm assuming that's going to get better. at the market open. But looking at this daily with the volume under 100,000 for the most part, we don't want to touch this.
This is
Yeah,
noisy
right.
garbage, man.
Yeah, you do not want to touch this, guys. You need volume. Maybe this might be better for other type of plays, but for our style, you need volume, and that 1.4 on whatever flow stock this is, it's just not going to do it.
It's a huge company. I mean, it's,
Yeah,
but
so
yeah,
it's
no bueno.
no good, no good. RKT, we looked at plug. You guys know how I feel about plug, but let's take a look. Uh, pre-market access not looking great, and plug trades very heavy on volume. Their worst days in the recent times since June has
It's
been
huge.
40 30 million shares a day. So they trade out heavy. Right now 11 I'm sorry 115 is not a lot. This is a horrible pre-market action for them this morning, and they're not really breaking out of any highs or lows on the daily here. So I don't like it. And then my personal feelings is it's just a horrible stock to trade. It doesn't trade very well. Let's look at what Mike was giving us children's plays. Actually, we looked at that. Yeah, we have that here on
Yep.
deck. So that's good to go. RKT possible. Yeah, I mean possible swing play. Yeah, if you were able to time this, I wouldn't take me personally. I wouldn't take a swing trade now. But anywhere down here, and at this breakout, it would have been great. But it's also difficult to take a swing trade on a stock that just opened up. You don't have a lot of technical data on it. My personal thoughts. Again, I'm not telling you what to do or not do. So let's look at LI. We looked at, guys. We didn't like that one. We didn't make our list. Again, it's just not a whole lot of information on this one, so I'm gonna stay away from that one right now. Rob is giving us CRM. CRM is a tricky stock, guys. This one is up 2.5, 287. It is not the cleanest stock. It reminds me of like QCOM. These type of companies, they just don't trade that clean. But if you do like the way this one trades, this one is active today. Oracle does the same thing. They don't trade very clean. They had looks like earnings last night.
No,
That's
they
a
have
little
a
late.
catalyst that they're
Uh,
the Dow index is swapping out three stocks, and this is one of them. It's
hmm.
all led because of Apple's split. It's going to mess up the weighting and everything else, and how much tech is in there. So Salesforce is one of the companies that's going into the Dow 30.
Oh, okay. That could be a good catalyst. They have a pop already on it. How much continuation can that actually give them, right? It's already a big company, a big ticker. I don't know if that's going to be huge, but again,
I've found CRM to be difficult to trade.
yeah.
If I were trading it, I definitely have to watch your sales share size in it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. All right, guys. Let's see what else we have. Starbucks. Let's take a look at that, and we'll start looking at some of the stuff on YouTube here. We'll look at J.P. Morgan next. Not a great pre-market, very light. I see what you're looking at. Their daily has a nice breakout here, and not a great daily over the last couple of days, but possible breakout there. But again, no volume right now, guys. But I see what you're looking at. This up 1.6 has some potential if you can get some volume going there. All right, let's take a look at what we have on YouTube. RKT, we do have LMND. That sounds familiar. LMND. No volume, guys. Only 7,000 shares. So again, we need that volume in there. BLNK is another one that doesn't is on my plug list as well. It doesn't trade very well. I personally don't like it right now. Pre-market's not giving you anything really all that great, and their daily lately has been pretty choppy in here. So I'm gonna move on to the next JP Morgan. JP Morgan up nicely today, 1.2. Again, travel companies did well yesterday. Banks probably did well as well. You can see it here, JP Morgan doing very nice. They're
Yeah,
up
financials
1.2.
are leading the pack right now. So there's some
Yeah.
rotation going on here for sure. I mean, people
Mm-hmm.
have had these huge gains in technology. We've seen this slow down. The XLK is essentially flat this morning. One of the only few things that's really not up. So we're seeing some rotation here, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I mean, if you look at the stuff that has not really recovered, bank, travel companies, companies are still down here compared to where they were, pre-COVID. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens there. So I'm not seeing anything all that great. I do like WFC as one of the better trading banking stocks for me personally. This one here, it's got a good daily. I'll add as a possible, but we'll fine tune this possibles list because we have way too many on there. mRNA, let's look at that one. Yesterday, I think they did okay. Let's look at what they did yesterday. Yeah, yesterday had some pretty good range here. Nice drop here, nice recovery towards the middle of the day there. Right now, very horrible on volume, guys. Only 54. mRNA is a stock that really needs a lot of volume. Let's take a look at Apple, how they're doing today. A bit of a drop here right now, giving some back, a little bit less than 1%. Pre-market actions got some good volume. I think this one is going to be potentially in play today. We'll add it on here, and I think that's the last one we can add for the moment. Again, we'll fine tune this pretty quick. It's a lot of stuff on here that we're going to take off very easily. With that said, let's go over to announcements, and we'll come back and fine tune this list.
All right, guys. So this week's success webinar is Naz talking about recovering from a series of losses, traders rehab. Everybody goes through drawdowns at some point in their trading career. Naz, like everybody I know, has been through this. If you've been trading long enough, he's going to be talking about how he got himself out of a significant slump. Next week, Eamon's going to be talking about his extreme reversal setup. So that'll be it. Note the special time. Naz is at the normal time, 8 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday night in the webinar room. Eamon, because of his time zone, will be doing it at 5 p.m. Eastern in the webinar room. That is still like awesome of him to do that, because I don't know, is that 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm guessing, where he is. So
yeah, it's something
anyway,
crazy like that.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. So anyway, look forward to seeing both of those. This week, tonight, Nada is going to be talking about cultivating self-discipline with mindfulness. That'll be at 8 p.m. in the webinar room, part of our revamped psychology focus. Next week, guys, this one's changing out. I apologize. I did not have time to make this change on the slides. Mike has moved. We had Dr. Reed that was supposed to present back in July, I believe, and pushed his webinar back because he had some prior commitments. So Dr. Reed's going to be doing a success webinar. That will be next Tuesday. He's going to be talking about an introduction to trader personality. We'll get more into that and what that means in the next couple of days. Member trade of the day, guys, awesome trades we're seeing, so keep it going. Day 2 of 4 for this week so far. So take a screenshot of your best trade of the day, mark it up, entries, exits, setup, why you took it, why you got out, all that kind of stuff. Post it on Twitter by 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. Tag at Bearable Traders, at Mike B_BBT, and at NormBBT. You also use hashtag BBT Family. Mike will announce the winner each day, Monday through Thursday, in the closing bell show. And then on Friday, we take the 4 winners from the previous 4 days during that week, and that'll be announced as the trade of the week. And that will be the person that wins the $100 Amazon gift card. If you're watching us on YouTube and haven't tried out the chat, you would like to use the promo code PREMARKET24. That'll get you a discount off the 1-week trial. Doesn't auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership. 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, unless there's a market holiday, to the room. That also includes Carlos's onboarding class, which is each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Man, I cannot talk today. Also, if you're looking to either upgrade your membership or become a lifetime member, use the promo code LABOR35 to get a 35% discount off the single payment lifetime membership.
Oh, thank you, Norm. All right, guys, let's go over to the trade of the day. See what we have going on here. This goes to the Real Prince 31. He had an amazing trade here, guys, on RKT. And look, he played it very well. This is a stock that was not easy to trade. He took some very good shots at this here. Got in here. This is the 1 minute, by the way. Got in here right at the bottom, right? So if you had a great entry like this, very nice. You could see the partials taking profits on the way up. He did add to his position on the pullback. When you have such a great entry like this, you can do that, right? You can afford to add here, move your stop up a little bit so you're not losing more than what you already made here. And then again, he gets a beautiful pop here, takes everything out, leaves a little bit for his break even, which would have been probably midpoint here, not here where his entry was. And you can see here, he takes everything out. So again, amazing trade there, man. Great job for the Real Prince there. All right, guys, let's get to our list. Let's fine tune this a little bit. Let's just scan down here. So we have MU on our list, which has a very nice pop today, 2.4, 325. I do like the movement on it. I like where we're bouncing from this 43 after being down quite a bit. So I think this could create some potential for us. We have American Airlines and United on our list. I'm only going to keep one because our list is pretty long today. So United is looking good. It's got insane volume. I think I'm going to stay with, American Airlines. I think I'm going to stay with American Airlines today because their volume is 2 million shares right now. United is not looking all that great in their pre-market, although I prefer them sometimes over American. I think American Airlines is the one today. Again, beautiful possible continuation there. NVAX has a great drop here. We're losing. We're not losing. We're right at this level where we had major support. Pre-market is so right now. But I definitely want to keep an eye on this. This is the same news as VXRT. They're both being dropped down here with the news that Norm had mentioned earlier for us. At this time, I think both of them look very good, so I'm gonna keep them on there. BA guys, again, I don't want to watch two airline stuff here. I'm gonna move BA down. You know what? We'll keep it there for now. BA looks good. Let's keep it here for now. Let's look at this secondary list and see what we can bring up. So Apple, I think is decent. I think Apple is worth bringing up here. Let's remove it from the secondary. Okay, there we go. RKT, I'm gonna remove, guys. I think yesterday was just such a choppy stock, except for that one trade from the Real Prince. He took that perfectly, but for the strategies that I look for, you know, it just didn't do it for me. There, INO guys. This one, okay, pre-market action, not great. Children's Place, I'm gonna keep here. We're losing some of these levels. Has been in a beautiful downturn over the last couple of months, so that's nice. GPS still not doing much at the moment. Had a good day yesterday. Let's remove it. SWBI, I like the drop of 13%. Volume is decent, but this pre-market action is a bit choppy compared to what everything else that we have here. I'm going to keep it on here just because who knows if at the open we can get some kind of movement here, but this drop is nice. 13% drop, losing some of these levels of support. I do like that. SRNE, a little bit all over the place. It did put in a great day yesterday, so I'm inclined to keep it on here. BBY, I'm going to take off BBY. Just going to remove that one for now. CCL, I'm going to keep here. Let's see if the travel companies are going to do what they did yesterday. They were just incredible. And I'm going to keep WFC as a possible for the banking stocks as well. So I think we got a pretty good list here, guys. We got a very long than usual possibles list, but if anything doesn't look good here, or if you're trading later into the day, you know, you want to have these tickers on here for some opportunities to take some possible place on it. Let's start with MU. They're high of their pre-market sitting at 45.09, so let's mark that down. Below that, guys, you got plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last two trading days, creating a really nice base. Your low of your pre-market is sitting right at 44, slightly above the highs and the previous day close. So we'll mark down 44 there. Above the pre-market high of 45, you do have 46, 03, and you do have a great level here at 47. So let's see. This thing can go either way, guys. We've been dropping down here pretty nice. We found a level of support. We're popping up for the last two trading days, including this pre-market open. I'm sorry, this pre-market open. So we'll see if that's going to continue, or we're going to find resistance at this 45 level and head back down to a new range here. So let's see what MU wants to do for us today. American Airlines had a great day yesterday for all the travel companies. Today they're popping up pretty nice here, 2.5 with some good volume, 2 million shares traded. So 1393 high of the pre-market, above that 1427, and the most recent highs here when we gapped up on this statement. This thing was a very nice gap up, 1502 all the way up there. Towards the bottom, your low of your pre-market very close to the highs of yesterday and the previous day close. We'll mark it down at 1356, and then below that, guys, highs and lows from the last two trading days. But I am going to mark this level here where you see some kind of support and resistance. 1316, that's a minor one. Again, your major one is going to be this previous day close, the highs from the last trading day. But in case we lose that 1340, which is your previous day close, this 1316 looks really good here. You got resistance and you got support 1, 2, 3 days on there. So that's a good area, because from 1340 all the way down to 1260, that's a big drop. You know, you need to have a level in between here that makes sense. And this one here, it makes a lot of sense the way it traded the last couple of days. NVAX, I do like what I'm seeing here, guys. Again, we're slightly losing. I'm going to mark down this level here at 113.93. So let's mark that down. The low of the pre-market right now all the way down to 110.41. So we do have a couple of nice drops here. So again, we're back down here to the support area. Are we going to lose this? If we do lose that low of the pre-market, we have some more levels here at 106, all the way down here at 99.88, and also 94.47. So plenty of levels down here. Are we going to find support here like we did last time, or are we going to drop? Pre-market is looking okay. I'm going to keep a close eye on this one. If it doesn't get better, I'll replace it with something else on our list here. VXRT traded well yesterday. Also a nice big big drop for them as well. Low of the pre-market 762. Towards the bottom here, we do have a 605. That's another level. And then we have this big day here, this huge day that popped up nicely. There's really no major levels in the daily in between here. So I'm going to keep 605 for now. That's a few cents lower than the pre-market low here. If it drops lower, I'm going to go into this day here and see what kind of action we're getting in there that I can put some good levels off that intraday play there. But off the daily, you only really have 360 all the way down here. I don't think you can make that type of move today. Something really major happens there. Towards the top, you do have your high of your pre-market very close to the previous day close. So I'm going to keep the previous day close at 736 as the major level there, right? So we'll keep that on there. And then above that, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Let's look at BA again, another possible continuation as some of the airlines are doing very well today, like American 181.10 high of the pre-market. Above that, you do have this 189.80, which is your major area of resistance. Look how many times this thing has been tested. Again, as we mentioned, guys, the more a level is tested, the stronger and more conviction that level is going to have, because everybody, if you look at this daily chart, everybody's going to have this level. It's just taken out there for you to mark it down. This is a clear level. You have some days here where you have a major change in direction, right? So that's important. Here again, major change in direction, rejection there comes and slumps back down. So we're all going to have that. A minor level of possible resistance is going to be this one here, this 184.93. So you see several days opening on that price target. If you go back in here between your previous day close and this 189 that we're just talking about, you do have a lot of days opening around that midpoint, which is 184.93. So you want to have that on there. That could be a good spot to gauge yourself whether you want to take profits, get into a trade, possible reversal. Let's see what the market is going to give us on BA today. Here's Apple. Again, Apple very active, guys. Good volume, 731. We gave some back yesterday after hitting all-time highs here, and now we're kind of heading down to the low of the last trading day yesterday. So as far as levels, you pretty much cover here. I am going to mark down a little bit of the high of the pre-market here at 506. But aside from that, the last 2 trading days levels got you covered. What you can do here is, this is a big gap. If we decide to lose the low of yesterday, you want to have something in between here. So go into that intraday here. Actually, no, we'll do it now. We got time. 9:10. Yeah, let's do it now. Let's go into the 5-minute, right? And let's see if we have something in between here that we can mark down. This would have been from 2 days ago. So right over here. Okay, so let's zoom in here. Yep, that's enough right there. So this is the level that we have, right? We have the 495. In between here, yeah, there's some clear levels here, guys. Look at this one right here. I mean, it doesn't get clearer than that. 492, right? You have another one here over at an excellent level at 488. Another one here at 483. So again, plenty of levels here on the 5 minutes. So in case we drop, we do have some levels. Did I just erase them? I just erased them. Yes, I did. Let's do them again. 493. Another one clearly here at 488. And then we have this one 43.85. So again, plenty of levels on there, guys. That's a big drop. I don't think you're going to get from 498 now all the way to 480. So look how I traded on 2 days ago. Hopefully we can expect these to act as support if this thing does decide to drop. INO, let's take a look here. At the moment, they're kind of getting a little bit of a bounce here. Actually, these are possibles. I'm not going to go through the possibles list, actually. They're not looking that great. I'm going to skip on going through levels here. We have a great list already, so I'm not going to add anything else here. A question that we get quite often, guys, I want to answer this one here on how you can fix your daily chart or any chart, right? Sometimes I'm going to give you an example. If you try putting in your studies on Dash Trader Pro and the chart looks very small, I get this email all the time. What you can do is go over to config, right? You right click, go over to study config. And what you can do here is on the price candle, this is the only one that you want to have including scale. The rest of your studies should not have that. So if you go to the view app, you click on config, make sure this is checked off. If you check that, let's see if we can get you an example. This one here is perfect Apple, right? So if I go to the 200 moving average and I want to study config and I do, okay, show me the 200 moving average on the chart, including scale. it's going to make my chart a lot smaller because the 200 moving average is all the way down here, and it's going to try to fit it in. As much as I zoom in, it's still going to try to show me the 200 moving average, which is not really relevant, right, to the price action. So make sure, guys, that that is not checked on. So go over to config. The only one should be the price candles. Make sure you go config X and then uncheck that so you can have a nice looking chart the way we have it here. So all right, guys, that is what we have. Let's take a look at what the moderators are watching this morning. Let's start with Thor. He has RKT, Delta, and American Airlines. Very, very nice list. Again, these are looking pretty good. I took RKT off for now, but again, it has potential on the daily. Mike has break of high of day scanners. As usual, he likes BA and BABA. Peter has Apple, MU today. MU is back on our radar, guys. We have not seen MU looking this good for a long time. So great pre-market action right now, up 2%. Can it become our good buddy again? I mean, we're trading that thing almost every day, a year or so. Peter has AMD as well, BBY, United Airlines, SRNE, and U1. That's a low flow stock, so be cautious with that one. Brian has American Airlines RKT, swung some from yesterday. Very nice. See, it's a great swing trading stock. Yeah. Yesterday was a good day, right? Yesterday, yeah, took it here yesterday into strength. Nice. So again, it's just this stock has been pretty strong the last couple of days. Let's look at INO. He has INO, NVAX, and also BBY. And for fun, he does have U1 as well on his secondary list. All right, guys, I think we have a better watch list than yesterday, but yesterday's watch list did trade very well. So hopefully that continues into today as well, as we have again MU's good pre-market. Just to recap a bit here, American Airlines going sideways a bit now, but I think their daily has a lot of potential here for a possible break after a good day yesterday. NVAX is somewhat dropping, a little bit of choppiness here. Hopefully starts getting a little bit better, closer to 930. VXRT on the same news as NVAX, coming back a little bit here after a couple of days in the rest. So maybe they're probably a little exhausted here. Let's see how that turns out. BA, nice little drop here in BA. So let's see what's going on there. Getting a little rejection at that 180, 110. And we have Apple also very, very active today as well. All right, guys, that is what we have. Let me see if any of the other moderators have put on their list here. But I think it's going to be a good day. 9:15 Eastern time, 15 minutes to the open. Guys, thank you so much for joining us in the pre-market show this morning, preparing with us. Make sure to submit your trades, guys, for the member trade of the day today. So if you have a great trade, submit it on there. We're definitely having a lot of fun watching these great trades you guys are doing and learning as well. You learn from other people the way they trade. RKT today was a great example. Prince traded this yesterday. And for me personally, this was a very tough stock to trade, but he found a great entry of the 5 minute. So make sure you follow Mike and Norm as they're posting those on Twitter. All right, take care, guys. Trade safe, and we will see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time. Take care.